Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Tuesday, September 2nd. Guys, today, man, listen, if you don't think like pretty much every day, you're just being handed a gift on a silver platter of stupidity and ignorance that you could take advantage of. I mean, it cracks me up. There used to be a theory, I don't know if it's even still around. People wrote books about the efficient market theory, like the market prices in all known information, and therefore it's like a perfect system that can't be beat. I mean, that concept, that theory is so wrong because, I mean, we've seen it, and I point it out to you guys like on a regular basis. But today we had some more of this craziness, and really I just think that it's a fantastic source of humor and comedy and profits. Now, if you don't see it, and I try to point it out to you every day, but if you don't see it, then you must be among those people who kind of in a sheep-like manner go along with all this ignorance and stupidity and misinformation. But anyway, that's on you. It's not on the people who follow this channel and learn from the things that I try to educate you on. But anyway, so today the market was down. No big deal. By the way, let me just go over the numbers. Friday, I told you Friday was first of the month payments, even though it wasn't September 1st, but yesterday, September 1st, was a federal holiday. So we had 108 billion leading flow. We had I think it was like a 92 billion net flow. And that's big. I mean, last year at this time, the September 1st payments were 101 billion, and the net flow was like 74.5 billion. So you could see the year-over-year increase is substantial, especially in that net flow. Okay, I'm gonna let you in on something that when by the way, the deficit for, and I don't use that term, net government transfers, but you'll hear the term deficit in the media. The government deficit for August was like, if I remember correctly, like 350 billion or something like that. Now you're going to hear, a couple of days from now, maybe a week from now, it's going to be in the media, on the blogs, on TV, how spending is out of control, how the deficit is out of control. But they're not going to tell you that the reason August was so big, and every month is really big in terms of the fiscal flows, but it's because the September 1st payment, because of that calendar, because of the holiday, it went in on August 29th. So it boosted the August numbers. They're not going to explain that to you. They have no interest in even to try to understand that. They're clueless about it. So I'm just telling you this in advance. You're going to hear all the screaming and oh my God, and there's no spending cuts and the deficit, blah, 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 and the debt. It's a calendar issue. That's it. Now, here's the other stuff, because there wasn't really any big news today. The news was that on Friday, I think late Friday, an appeals court said that Trump's tariffs were illegal. He couldn't do that. And so the narrative today was, now this is funny. I think this is funny. The narrative today was that, oh my God, they're going to have to refund the tariffs. And so people panicked as usual. By the way, I sent out an email to my subscribers today, just again saying, never panic. Always stay in control of your emotions. Let other people panic. If you let others panic, you can take advantage of their emotions. You have to control your emotions. So a couple of things here on this tariff refund. First of all, we don't know if that's actually going to happen. This will probably go to the Supreme Court. There was an appeals court. Trump is probably going to take it over to the Supreme Court. But I find it really interesting that when the tariffs were first announced, remember back in March, April, there was a big, huge crash in the market because everybody was panicking over tariffs. I said, you got to buy into that. That was the right thing to do. Now, when supposedly these tariffs are not going to be allowed, now that's negative too. Okay, so no matter what happens, they always write the script that it's negative. Okay, and I've gone over this very odd type of behavior or mentality many times in the past when I talk about, how their ideas and their theories, they contradict themselves constantly. Like in one case, back in March, the tariffs were, oh my God, they're terrible, we better sell the market. Now maybe the tariffs are coming off, they're declared illegal by an appeals court. Oh my God, that's terrible, we gotta sell the market. Now here's the thing that I find really funny is that if the government actually does have to refund, and there's another element to this refund concept. Let me just go over this. If the government does have to refund the money, that's like a tax refund. That's money that was collected from the economy, all right, from the non-government sector, that went into the treasury, okay? It's like they sucked it out, like I was talking about yesterday, the vacuum cleaner, they sucked it out, but now they may be forced to put it back in. That's not bearish. That's going to raise the financial balances of the non-government sector in the amount that it was reduced by the tariffs. So that's not a negative thing at all. The second element to this whole tariff ridiculousness is the refund aspect. I saw one clown from where else, CNBC, who wrote an article who said, this is going to severely affect the government's already stretched financial situation. Look, for a country that issues its own currency, it is an inapplicable argument to talk about a stretched financial situation. As long as the finances of that country are all, and its liabilities, mainly what we're talking about, are all denominated in its own currency, which is the case for the United States. So the government is going to refund the tariffs, if it comes down to that, the same way it makes payments on everything, which is basically to instruct the Fed to credit whatever bank accounts they need to credit. The Fed is the government's banker. Treasury issues payment instructions. The Fed credits the bank accounts. And that's how it's done. That's how all spending is done. It's not like there's some money piled up in a room somewhere that they're going to run out. So, but of course, this is CNBC. This is what you're going to hear every other place besides right here on this channel. So my advice to you guys is, first of all, always, always, always go against this stupidity and this idiocy. Even if you are not interested in learning anything else, MMT, how the monetary system operates, economic understanding, if you don't want to learn anything else, I mean, as a basic rule in life, never mind even trading or investing, as a basic rule in life, you got to go against stupidity. I mean, that's just logical, all right? So keep that in mind. The other thing I want to mention is that, let's get down to some real information here. I told you that the flows were very, very strong on Friday, first of the month. We got a Social Security payment tomorrow. This dip today was nothing. As a matter of fact, I did some buying. I even sent out early in the morning. I told everybody to be calm and, it's going to be fine. But we are heading into a September tax drain, okay, on September 15th, which is going to be followed by an October tax drain. And that is why this double hit, like the April-June, that is why seasonally we get this weak period in the market. And that's all it is. it's a seasonally weak period in the market because you get a back-to-back month, 1 month, second month tax drain. But look, we recovered from the April-June tax drain. I gave you the exact date when all that money was collected back, was recovered. I gave you the exact date. It was July 16th. I mean, I was following that for you guys pretty much on every video that I made. I said, here's how much more we got to recover in the economy. Here's how much more we got to recover in the economy. Okay, we recovered everything July 16th. You could take that. You could tell your friends. You could tell your colleagues. You could tell people in your family. Hey, I know, because when they tell you, yeah, we got to work 3.5 months out of the year to pay our taxes, you say, I know the exact date. I can tell you when it's all been done. Now, it doesn't come back to us the way it came out. It gets put back in the swimming pool. It circulates around. We all go about our business. We make money, hopefully, and then next year comes, the same thing happens, and hopefully the economy grows, so we make a little bit more each year. So I tell you all this stuff. Whoops. I tell you all this stuff. Nobody else tells you this stuff. And so I just want you to be aware, like right now, I don't see anything in the bigger picture. If we're talking about the flows, I don't see anything in the bigger picture right now that says we got to be worried. Yes, we got a tax drain coming up on the 15th. We got another one in October. But aside from that, the flows are very strong. Maybe the tariffs are going to ramp up to a point where, I said this yesterday, I've been saying this, maybe the tariffs are going to ramp up to a point where it's starting to shrink those flows, like materially. Maybe the Fed will start cutting interest rates again and the interest income transfers will go way down. Maybe. When it happens, I'll know. Right now, I'm not speculating on that. I'm staying, bullish on the market with the understanding that we may have a little turbulence coming up September 15th and then again in October. But look, I did some buying today and I'll do some buying if the market goes down in that period, that seasonally weak period that I'm talking about with these tax drains. Same thing. I'll be doing some buying. So stay calm. Don't get emotional. Go against stupidity. Always stay in control of your emotions. I know sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's tough. But, it's all up here, man. You got to train yourself to do that. It's like going to the gym. It's like working out. I mean, the more you reframe these things in your head, what you're telling to yourself, how you feel, be connected to how you feel, because then you could change that around. You could say, is it rational that I'm feeling this way? I mean, what's really changed? That there was some news report that the government might have to pay back the tariff? I mean, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. Anyway, that's it for today. Please like and subscribe. Thank you if you've already done that. And don't forget, go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com. Sign up for a 30-day free trial to MMT Trader. See you tomorrow. Bye.